This is a wireless charger vehicle dock provided by the manufacturer for review. So I didn't buy this, but I am kind of happy to get a hold of one of these because I have an iPhone 8 now and they finally have wireless charging, which is probably one of the things that's kept me from purchasing Apple products in the past. Ever since wireless charging became a thing, I got very lazy and tired of dealing with cords. So I always felt like it would be a great time for any company to step into the future and allow us to wirelessly charge our phones. So we have all sorts of stuff in here. Insert the original power adapter, place the phone on the sweet spot. So we need to hit the sweet spot. And this is what it looks like on the inside. So this is interesting. It's very similar to another charger that I reviewed recently, and I hope that this holds up really well, because one thing you have to be careful about with these types of mounts is that if it feels a little loose, if you over tighten these, you can actually cause some problems here to where this thing won't stay in place anymore. So you want to make sure not to over tighten this. And of course, it's got to be sufficient for holding up your phone. And if you're dealing with something like a Plus, like I've got the iPhone 8 Plus, it's a little heavier than a standard size phone. So we want to make sure that this thing will be able to accommodate that weight. So if you press on a button here, this is what I kind of like. You reach around the back side and click on it, and it's going to open up immediately. And when you set your phone down in here, you can just kind of squeeze it, and that's going to, set it in there snugly. Now, the other thing is, once in a while, they'll have a retractable piece at the bottom, but this doesn't. So what that means is that this wireless charger has to be able to reach the receiver inside of the phone. So we're going to find out right now if that is the case. So if you'll imagine, that is my virtual windshield there that I'm plugged into, and it does come with a fast charge. So this is fast charge enabled for your car. So that's most likely a 2 amp output. And then of course we have this, which would go onto your vent. If you'd prefer to mount it rather than the windshield, you can clip this onto the vent inside of your car and then just loosen this piece up and stick that right in there. But I do prefer the window mounted version for my car just because of the way it's set up. All right, so let's get this thing on the windshield. You have to peel off this plastic stuff on the bottom. There's some very sticky stuff and a clamp here that kind of creates a suction. And there's a pull tab here for when you decide to pull this thing off of your windshield. You want to make sure the windshield's clean, of course. And once you push this on and close this clamp down up here at the top, that is going to create a vacuum under there. So these things are pretty sturdy for the most part. Even in hot weather, they tend to hold up pretty well. And here's the fun part. Probably should have plugged this in before I mounted it on the windshield. It's a little tricky getting this thing plugged in from this angle, so I kind of had to get underneath there and take a look at it. Let's go ahead and plug that in. And then when you hit the button on the back, you'll see that these things just shoot out to the sides. So they'll accommodate a pretty wide phone. You can definitely get a plus size phone in here. I don't think you'd make it with a tablet. And when you clamp that down, that's going to sit in position there. And of course, I've got a foreign car, so I'm not going to have any juice until I turn the ignition on. And I'm going to go horizontal here so that hopefully you can see the battery being charged once I turn the key. So you can see that little light flashes a few times when you turn on the AC. And of course it is charging now. That's what comes up on the screen on the iPhone once you connect it to power. If you can't actually see the icon on the battery itself, I will bring the camera a little closer here because I know it's a little tough to make that out from this distance. So you can see we've got our charging symbol and a crack in my tempered glass. Need to get that replaced pretty soon. All right, so when you go to pop this thing out, you want to make sure your phone doesn't go flying across the car. I've made that mistake only once, of course. But as you can see, just pop it in, set it into place, and it is charging. So this is awesome. Nothing to plug in. It's all set up and ready to go. When you want to get out of the car, you just pop it off, and that's it. And they do supply you with a power block and this little vent thing, which I got to tell you, I have not figured out. I've tried a bunch of these, and they've never worked out really well for me in most of the cars that I've driven. Maybe I'm not putting them in properly, but you push that thing and open it up, set it on the vent, and then for some reason, it seems like it just doesn't stay in one place. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. We're going to have to change out the back. I struggle with this a bit. I'm not sure what the best approach is for this, but we need to get that ball inside that little piece there where the threads are, pop it into position, and then tighten this thing down. And it was a bit awkward because you don't have a lot of distance to work with in there. But once you get it started, make sure you have your thread straight, of course. And I actually partially threaded this thing first, then pop the little ball inside, then tighten it down. And then you'll use this little lever to open up that clip, and that's supposed to clamp onto the fins in your vent. But again, no matter how I get this thing installed, I never seem to get it into a spot where I'm really happy, where it feels secure. It just kind of flops around a little bit and doesn't stay steady, and then it ends up putting weight on the charging cable down at the bottom if it's at the wrong angle. So personally, I prefer to put it on the windshield. Maybe you can figure out a way to make this thing work a little bit better, but in my experience, the suction cup on the windshield is generally the best option. Let's just make sure this thing is charging, and there you have it. Overall, a pretty decent, sturdy feeling phone holder. The only downside, of course, being that it will not rapid charge an iPhone. So these are probably better when you use it with Samsung or Android devices. And also it says in the instructions that it will not tell you when the battery's full if you're using an iPhone. But again, for Samsung, that is a feature that is supported. If you found the video helpful, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and check out our weekly Tech Talk live stream. Have a great one, and thanks for watching.